sorry. I gotta spit out my gum. I'm sorry. Is this in my time right now?
No.
Okay. Here we go. Should we clap again? Thank you. Well, some events in American history help shape us as a nation. They shape our laws, they shape our actions, and they shape our beliefs. The Battle of the Alamo was one of these events. Not only did it do all that, it also physically shaped our country, giving us part of our southern border and one of our largest states. I've researched the Battle of the Alamo ever since I found out one of my distant ancestors actually died in the battle. The Battle of the Alamo is an important moment in American history, but to learn of it, we first have to learn of the Texas Revolution, key players on both sides of the battle, and of course the battle itself. To properly give context, let's start with the Texas Revolution. Texas in the early 1800s was a province owned by Mexico. Around 1820, there began to be conflicts politically between the province of Texas and the government of Mexico. The province wanted more power to govern themselves and less centralized government. Violent conflict didn't start, though, until October 2nd, 1835. The United States government gave a town in Texas, Gonzales, Texas, a cannon to defend themselves from Indian attacks. The government of Mexico didn't want Texas militia to have a cannon since they were having political conflicts, so they sent 100 soldiers to confiscate the cannon. The Texas militia didn't comply, though. They fought back against the Mexican army, and this was the start of the Texas Revolution. James Bowie, who I will talk about later, then took 650 Texas militiamen and marched to Bexar, Texas, to fight the Mexican army that was building a barracks there. After his reinforcements turned out to be underqualified, though, him and his troops had to retreat to the Mission of Alamo just outside of town. Before we get to the battle itself, though, let's learn about some key figures on both sides of the battle. The most famous member of the Texas Revolution was American frontiersman Davy Crockett. Crockett was a militiaman from Tennessee who was known for his ability to hunt and to tell stories. He was eventually elected a Tennessee state legislator, but was failed to be re-elected, so he moved to Texas. Crockett became a folk hero, and his life turned into folklore, and stories about him were told around the country and even adapted into plays. Another famous member of the Texas Revolution was James Bowie, who I spoke about earlier. Bowie was also a frontiersman whose life turned into numerous fictitious and other stories. His most well-known story was a duel he got into outside of a bar where he was shot and stabbed, but then he took out a large knife and killed his opponent. And to this day, we still call a type of large knife a Bowie knife. The most famous member of the Mexican side was their leader, Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, who after the Battle of the Alamo actually became the president of Mexico for 22 years, 11 consecutive terms. He also helped Mexico gain their independence from Spain. His most notable failure, though, was his inability to stop the Texas Revolution. Now that we understand the players, let's talk about the battle itself. The lead up to the Battle of the Alamo would last about 13 days. Some 200 men were trapped inside the Alamo for 13 days, and others escaped and fled. Small skirmishes gave the Texas revolutionaries hope that they could defeat the Mexican army. One of the revolutionaries sent a letter to the United States government asking for help. This letter was then printed in newspapers around the country and even in Europe. Sadly, reinforcements would not arrive in time as the Mexican army attacked full force at the Alamo. Within a matter of hours, all of the men had died, and those that surrendered were executed by the Mexican army rather than been taken as prisoners. This merciless slaying inspired numerous Texans and Americans to fight for Texas's independence. During one of the last battles of the Texas Revolution, the Battle of Jacinto, the revolutionaries charged into battle screaming, "Remember the Alamo." Eventually, Texas did gain its independence, using the Battle of the Alamo as a catalyst to rally their troops and inspire victory. In conclusion, the Battle of Alamo was an important moment in American history. The Texas Revolution and the many larger-than-life personalities that fought showed the heroic struggle of independence. The Alamo should be remembered for people having the courage to fight for what they believe in. Thank you. That was garbage.
5 minutes and 5 seconds.
That was garbage. That was a pretty bad speech. Did I rock this?
I thought it was great.
I stumbled like 10, 15 times. That was pretty bad. Also, you said right before I went up that like that was the speech I need to be doing. This is not like the paper you have in front of you, I feel like.
Oh,
The entire intro and conclusion.
the intro, I was like,
I just completely wrote that like an hour before this. So
well, it was good.
I think it was better than
Yeah, it
what
was.
on
I just was like, I don't see any of that here.
A lot of vocal variety too, like a lot of
Can't help it.
and stuff.
That's great.
I want to like,
It's a good
yeah,
voice. It's a good
I
thing.
have too much energy.
Because
I
you weren't
maintained
monotone.
attention.
Yeah, I can't look down at the
It
cards.
sounded professional on your
Thank
paper.
you.
Like your volume was really good and your words were super clear.
Yeah, I can't
So
help it.
kept
That's
my
just the way I talk. Use speech.
It's a benefit to you.
Good thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think you really grab the audience. You're like, listen up. I'm giving a speech.
I'm like shouting.
No,
I
but it's
can't
good. It's good. You're like
yelling at
engaging.
you guys.
That's what I meant to say.
I can't help
Very
it.
engaging.
Yeah,
You should be a history teacher.
yeah, maybe. I think this kind of kills me inside when I'm up here though, so I don't think I'd last very long.
Might be different.
I die after a semester. Yeah, I have to paddle my
No,
heart.
you know what? You have really some terrific raw speech giving delivery skills. They're good.
Thank you.
Just part of you, that's very natural. It comes out of him, this enthusiasm, this volume. Fantastic vocal variety. It's very hard to teach. It's very, people are either monotone, it's really hard to say, come on, pretend like you care about what you're talking about. Make
Yeah.
something sound different. That's a difficult thing.
Yeah.
You've got it. You have these skills that just need to be polished.
Yeah.
You just need more practice, or you need more rehearsal, or you need something. You don't look, except for the part when sometimes you look around and like,
I laugh when I mess up. When I trip over
Yeah.
things, I laugh at myself. Because
yeah,
if I start to bomb, I think it's
maybe
funny.
somebody was getting you. Like I thought there was somebody
No,
in the
it's me.
audience
It's me getting
who
myself.
who's making you, cracking you up. Like I thought,
No,
okay, Steve
no,
over here.
no, it's
he's giving it,
me.
like,
When I mess
special
up, I
treatment.
make myself laugh.
It's you, okay.
I imagine myself bombing, and like nothing is funnier to me than like just doing horrible. So
Well, laughing or smiling is a whole lot better than
Crying.
than
Yeah.
saying, oh crap, what am sorry,
Yeah.
any of that stuff.
Or passing out.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so, and you just keep going, which is to your credit. It was really interesting. Okay, wait a minute. You talked about your your relative,
Yeah.
but you never read back to it and said who that was, or
Well-
that was like a tease, and you never satisfied
Like
it.
half my family is from North Carolina, right on the border of North Carolina and Tennessee, and we have like this big book of like our family history, and they've been there since like the late 1700s, and like we just found that one of our relatives died in the Alamo. He was like a Tennessee frontiersman, but then I went there for spring break this year to see my grandma, and I was like, Grandma, where's that book? And she was like, I don't know. So I don't know. So he's lost in time and history. But, we learned about it, right?
Yeah,
There you
I just
go.
didn't know, like, well, what, you said that they, and I didn't know.
If I had more information, I was looking over spring
Oh,
break, but,
okay. All right. And what did Davy Crockett do? Was he, I know he was he moved to Texas, but did he fight in the Alamo?
Yeah, he died.
He
They
died,
they
yeah.
both died there.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.